good.
All
I
good.
can hear you, but I can't see you for some reason. This is Wendy Delgado.
Oh, we can hear you, Wendy, but your picture's not up.
Yeah, I don't know what to do.
Well, get out of that and I'll ring you again.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Here's Alexandra.
Hello, Noreen.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, Hector.
Hi, Erica.
Hello.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, Julie.
Erica.
Suzette, no picture for you yet.
No picture, and you guys
Hi,
are a bunch
Suzette.
of Christmas balls
Oh, no.
bouncing.
Somebody else. Esther came in.
Hi, everyone. How everyone?
Hi, Esther.
Hi, Esther.
Hello.
I'm slightly in the, never mind. I've got something on my head you don't need to know.
We can't
Towel.
see your mouth.
Oh, you can see it? Oh, my goodness gracious me.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, Pierre.
Hi,
Hello.
Gina.
Hey,
Hi. Hi, Wendy.
Finally.
Yay, Wendy's here.
Finally, I'm here.
good
Hi,
job.
Janie.
Hi, Julie and Wendy and
Hi,
Noreen
Janie.
and Diana and Alex.
Hi, Peter.
Hi, Peter. Oh, I can see. Hi, Peter.
Hi, Peter.
Hello.
Hi, Yuri.
Hi, Wendy.
Wonderful.
Hi, Peter. Julie, Wendy.
Oh, James is
Hi,
not
James.
showing today.
Hi, James.
Hello, Noreen. Julie.
Hi, Mary.
Hello, James.
And Julie.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, Diane's
Hi,
on.
Diane. Hi, Bernadette.
Hi,
Yay.
Hey, Bernadette. How are you?
Who, me? Oh, I'm all right. How are you?
Me.
She's always. Hi, Alice.
Hi.
Oh, hi, Alice.
Hi, Alice.
Hey, Alice.
Alice.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Janie. Oops. Hi, Janie.
Alexander.
Hello. Who said that? Hi. I was just coming up. My cat, I keep trying to shut the door and she runs outside in the porch again. It's cold, Janie. I want to shut the door. Just like a kid. Get your butt in here. Come on. Come on. No, I'm not leaving the door open. Get out here. It's not. Come on. Hurry up. I gotta get on this call. Come on. Come on.
You are the old lady on the call.
Come on. I know. But I'm talking to my cat who was really sick this morning and she seemed to come back from the ashes again. Wow.
You must be feeling a lot better.
She's a feisty little thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Where's Noreen?
He's here.
He's here. I've seen him.
There he is.
Oh, here he is.
Yay.
There he is.
I'm making sure.
Everybody.
Hey, Jan.
Hi,
Jan.
Jan.
Hi, Jan.
Jan.
Hello.
Diane Lynn Murray's here.
Yay.
Hi, Julie.
Yay.
There's Diana. How are you doing?
Which one?
Both.
I think there's 2 Dianas and 2 Dianas.
Yeah, I think
There's
there
more.
may even be more.
Yeah.
The two Dianes are on.
Nice to see you.
Kyra's on today. Not there. Lee's not responding yet. Going to do.
Oh, okay, there's one thing to share. I had no idea how powerful, once you can stay in your quantum place and do things in your energy space without mixing them, you are so much stronger. For example, it took me 3 full days to deal with the surrogate work that I did for the 3 that went with the trickster. 3 full days. I mean, before, it was 1 day, and I'm done. It took me 3 days.
Is it because it's 3 people?
3 people. And it took me 3 days.
Oh.
I finished this morning. So, those of you have noticed on the first page, it says, don't do any circuit work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And boy, is that so true.
Don't do anything what, Peter?
Surrogate.
Don't do anything what?
Don't do any surrogate work.
Oh, I see.
Not yet.
Before I did it, but nowhere near the way it should be done, which is everything, you do it from your quantum place in the energy space.
Yeah.
So your quantum, you're still using energy, but because you have total control of quantum, you are so much more powerful. So that's on the website, but man, don't do it.
Peter, I wouldn't know how to.
Well, I'll
say
tell
hi?
you what.
Oh, your Magnificence does.
I have an experience with that. You remember I fell on my face?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I walked away from a surrogate experience, and it was premature. I shouldn't have done it, but I didn't know that I needed to be in mastery first, and it made me fall on my face about a month later. But I did it a second time before that, where I was surrogating, and I didn't realize that when I walked away from it, I fell on my face again, and I fell in the same spot. It was right on
Wow.
of my eyebrow, and
Ow.
it was on the cement. I smacked my face. I tripped and I fell, and I smacked my face right on the cement, and it was like the right side told me that it was because I was doing an ID 10T.
Right, exactly.
I hadn't
Wendy.
my ego yet. I didn't have my ego mastered. I wasn't
Thank you,
mastered.
Wendy, very much.
Very.
It just, I mean, you all get through it because you're becoming quantum. You're returning to quantum through words. Now, you have a unique moment, and that is the next 5 calls. You can do all 6. You can do no, new, balance. And then once you have balance, your no grows. But it's only a 1, 2, 3. And then there's a 4, 5, 6. There's the Magnificence, and Noreen was in charge of that. That was his first quantum joy. And then, we went from 3 to 25. So when you go to more detail, we went from 3 to 6 to 25.
Right.
And because you can know what's going to happen as you develop completely your quantum place, you can ask questions and use them as information along the way. For example, you all know day 500, you won't be using any man-made substances.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Well, if you're still using man-made after 500, wait, simple.
Mm.
You built that bridge. So you have 5 days to answer all your questions. Remember, you are all unique. And I've just given you an example.
Mm-hmm.
So using your own uniqueness, the time between the 4 calls left, it's open hunting season. And you'll all have different questions, but the point is you can make yourself very precise milestones. And from quantum, the part of you that's quantum, almost everything is going to be a 1 or a 3. 1 word or 3 words. For example, why do you have an onboard trickster? 1 or 3 words. This is for learning, so just blurt it out.
Practice.
What
Teacher.
Practice, yes, but it's return to quantum.
Yes.
You have a trickster so that you can return to quantum.
Yeah.
You know the term return to quantum, 3 words. You know the term trickster, 1 word. Why do you have a trickster? Why is it so important it's on board? It's so you can return to quantum.
Hmm.
Why do you have an ego? It's spelled E, small, energy, because that isn't part of your 100, it's part of your 1. Ego. So you can travel within energy.
Yes.
What's the relationship with trickster and ego? None. No relationship. They are totally different. One is so you can travel within energy. That's ego. And the other is your trickster. That's so you can return to quantum. What about emotions? E, small, emotions. But when your heart is open, it opens to quantum, not energy. Huge difference, huge. It's a portal to quantum. So you can use it as your portal to quantum, period. And if they're negative emotions, you know that negativity is never part of quantum. Never.
Yes.
Always positive. Even when we do ID10T things, ultimately, the quantum part is positive. It's that simple.
Yeah, just abs, doesn't it? Abs.
Yeah, and Peter, there has been a lot of misteaching in spiritual literature about emotions and emotions.
I don't D.
I'm sorry?
I'm just saying hi to Donna D. She just popped on.
Okay,
Hi, Donna.
Yeah.
I was just saying emotions.
Hi, Yuri. I've seen you, but I haven't said hi.
In the spiritual, teachings, emotions are confused by being heart-driven, but they're not. They're the mental body and mental mind and ego doing the trick, not anything related to the heart.
Correct.
I agree. Yeah.
They're not even related to self-love.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
They have nothing to do with love.
They're energy only, aren't they?
Exactly. They are energy only. But the point is, once you open up the portal, then you're opening up one of your paths to quantum. And you're using it. So how do you know that an emotion is quantum or energy only?
It's joyful if it's quantum.
Exactly. That's exactly correct.
Happy, fun, and better.
Yes. Yay, Wendy.
One is to be mastered, and the other is to be opened. And how do we open it? Self-love.
Yes.
It's not possible to open it until you have completed the self-love process.
Yeah.
What are the 9 loves?
Balance.
Balance.
Self-love.
Second one is self-love.
Experience.
Peace.
Harmony.
Then pure
Pure
love, but
love.
that has a vibration to it.
Pure mature love.
Yeah.
Which
To
also
it.
has a vibration. That's where you put your maturity
Free
as you
will.
go from pure to pure mature. And then you go back to no vibrations.
Quantum
which many
love.
of us did together. Quantum love.
Free
And then
will.
free will.
And then free will,
Has vibrations.
which is totally vibrations. And then mastery.
Mastery.
Total quantum mastery.
Correct.
Yay.
You're learning to do everything from the quantum place. Even when you're in the energy space, which we all are.
Mhm.
So mastery is simply 100% place versus a gradual process that leads us from a 0% to 100%. You're all unique. So you've got 5 calls, including this one, to go between and to be very clear with yourself. Do we ever babble? Question. Do we ever babble to each other in quantum?
No.
No.
Oh.
Never. So if you like to babble, pick one of yourselves and babble. Your Magnificence doesn't want to babble with you.
No.
I don't want to babble with you.
Peter, it's Suzette.
Yes, Suzette.
So even with 100% self-love, the trickster is still doing well. There's still a bag of tricks.
Absolutely. The tricks that I shared with some a couple weeks ago, I had to check my own tricks. And yet I know how to do all this stuff. And I've done it. It hasn't been, I know how to do it, but I haven't done it. It's been, I've done it. And it's been confirmed both times. Once through the quantum back channel, and once I watched sleep go from larger than tennis balls to smaller than pea size. And it only took 5 minutes. And I knew it took me 5 minutes because it was practice. I'd never done it before. I didn't even know I could do it. So one of us threw out practice. You bet everything practice.
Thank you.
So it's almost anything. Practice is also part of it. But it's knowing what to practice. That isn't part of it. That is very precise.
My reset in the morning is become very powerful.
It's unbelievably powerful. I wish I knew about it years ago.
And
I'm glad.
It's in that time of as you're becoming awake. And
Correct.
I have a very strong, awakening each morning because it is so powerful.
Yes.
So it's marvelous. Thank you.
It is. And all I can say is mine is very powerful also. I also talk to each Magnificence, Cammie, Nell, my wife, and Quantum Singularity.
That's your team.
Mm-hmm. Those three.
Yeah.
And, if I didn't have Quantum Singularity both in and out, I would never have any MTTs. I love MTTs. They keep me happy. There's always that unknown of will there be an MTT and when. And there's 86,400 seconds. And even on stopwatches, we get a 1,000th second. So multiply that number, 86,400 times 1,000. An MTT can come anytime. I love MTT. It never gets boring because there's always the chance of an MTT.
As we allow it from quantum.
Pardon me?
As we allow it from quantum.
Well, yes. But when they come from quantum, well, they always come from quantum.
Yes.
But if you're negative, a negative MTT is going to be allowed by your quantum. But it didn't come from your quantum. But it simply boils down to every day forward is fun. It's happy. And you're better.
Yes.
And as Suzette was sharing with us, that moment when we switch from real energy to holographic energy is so powerful.
Yes.
But right before we switch, we can communicate with other quantums that we want to communicate with.
Yes.
Does it take long? Well, how long does it take me to stay awake? Not very long. But I'm doing most of that from quantum. But integration is doing both from quantum and divine, or quantum and energy only. It's really simple. Quantum is really simple.
Yes. In my case, what I've noticed, if I do it in the right moment, then the stream of thought that usually is there gets delayed. It's like mind is still empty.
Right.
If I missed that chance, then the mind is starting to be really active, and I'm saying, okay, I stop everything, do this now, and then get out of bed. So start the day. So.
Right. And for me, and some of you, you know exactly when you're going to do it. I've shared it with you.
Yeah.
I talk to other Magnificents while I'm using both energies. And remember, let's just go to the energy again. We have had, for a long time, two energies. Holographic, which is fast, and real, which is really painfully slow. How is holographic structured? What makes it so fast? Well, it's photon pairs held apart by quantum folders. And if we were to convert these quantum folders into piano, the piano would have about 1 million keys. And you can do a lot of harmonics with 1 million keys.
It's really fun.
And thank you, James. You're right. I mean, it's unbelievable. And then we have real energy, which is painfully slow. It's a matter vortex, 4-point, connected to a antimatter vortex, 4 points, with a single point. So it's 9.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so slow as opposed to a photon pair held apart. It's really fast because it wants to get back together.
Yes.
We don't do that. We keep it apart in folders.
And this, sorry, go ahead.
And what you have now is both.
Yeah.
You have both. But I'll just speak for myself. I want to keep getting experience elements. So I want to be sure that holographic is turned on when I'm awake. But I know now the real is running in the background. And I can call on it whenever I want. So I have both. So my primary is real when I'm asleep. And my primary when I'm awake is holographic. But I'm in control for all 24 hours. Now it takes practice, but it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Before you could practice, but you didn't have anything to work with. Now we all do.
Yeah, we all
else
do.
knows about this? Not even Ashtar.
Yes.
He will shortly.
Yeah.
But only the ones who know about this are us. We.
And Peter, I was going to ask you, since it's all the photonic energy that's moving, that movement is also creating the local gravity that each of us is experiencing here.
Right.
It's not a field that, as science describes it, it's all local.
We get our light.
Wow.
We get our gravity.
Yes.
We get many energies.
Yes.
All from those surrounding energy. But to me, we get a continuation of experience though. There's no degradation whatsoever. None. They're fast. But now we have both. So, like Suzette has done, I'm comfortable with when you use it. Become comfortable in awaking in a half second. But do it. Don't just assume it. In IBM, we had a phrase, never assume. Because you make an ass out of me and an ass. I never assumed after I heard that. I said, I don't want to be an ass.
My mom used to tell me that all the time.
Yeah. And that's what happens when we assume. Never assume. I have never used the word assume for your magnificence. Never.
Yes,
we never assume.
Never.
We know. What are the three? No, balance. 1, 2, 3. All of us can count to 3. 1, 2, 3. No, new. Balance the new. And then put it back and grow the no. If you think about it, that's also the very seed of better.
Yes.
It's the very seed of personal growth.
Yes.
All in the 1, 2, 3. But no to the bottom one.
And it's similar for the negative emotions because it's beliefs that you have to balance and the energy you have to balance. So then you can
Correct.
And change the behavior at that same time. So all connected there. It's all good lessons. We just
and
make sure we don't get caught in it.
It's all simple because we keep practicing and get better. And remember, the 3 words are fun, happy, which is a state. You're never not happy. Now, if you've tried to do this from energy only, people will call you Pollyannish. You don't want to do that. You want to be real. So it takes a lot of practice to never be called Pollyannish. And if somebody calls you Pollyannish, to them, you're Pollyannish.
You can't change it.
So what do you know? You know you have a new skill that you can choose to develop. So that specific person will no longer call you Pollyannish. Might somebody else? Yeah. What is that? It's another skill. They work with a different category of uniqueness. That's all it is. So, any other questions? Tremendous opportunity you have to set up signposts along your way. Again, if it doesn't work out, put yourself on pause by day 500. How many times have you messed, go on pause? It happens a lot. But exactly when you're ready. And if you don't, that's okay too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the chance.
Hey, Scotty's here. Yay!
Hey, Scott.
Hey.
Hi, Scotty.
Scott.
Hello.
I haven't seen Scotty yet, but I heard it.
He's got a bubble today. He's not showing his face.
I see a fan.
Fan is wonder who it is. I wonder. No, that's not Dennis. I'm checking for fan.
It's black.
Hi, Diana.
Hi, Diane.
Hi, Bernadette.
Diana.
Hi, Diana.
Hello.
Hey, all the
Nice.
Diana and
Share
Diane
with you.
are online. Yay!
Peter, this is James. Peter, can you talk
Yes.
more about quantum place? You spend most of your time in quantum place. So now you delete the stillness. It feels like quantum place is compared to energy is very still, isn't it?
No, it doesn't change. It's just, it's all of a sudden you get it. For example, Suzette shared with us how she gets it, how she wakes up. She gets it. Well, in my case, all of a sudden I got it. I was at the Broadmoor, and it just felt like, go home. So I went home. And then the hail, larger than tennis, started. It was scary. And I said to myself, well, use quantum. And it took 5 minutes because I was practicing it. But I went completely to quantum. There was zero attention to anything of energy. And I took what was happening in energy, which was hail larger than 10. And in 5 minutes, it was less than heat. And Nell came home later that day and simply observed that we had hail that was a little larger than pea size, and it melted in 4 hours.
Took it
I
for
just
granted
smiled
there.
and said, oh my goodness, quantum is so powerful.
Took it for granted there.
I didn't need proof. I could see it. I got home, it was scary. I went to a place that I didn't know that I could stay at, but I did. And when staying there, I went back to my energy and watched as the hail reduced from larger tennis ball, smaller than pea.
So now that you know, you can do it again if you need to.
That led to the
Yes.
Or expand it. You can also expand that experience.
Yeah.
So when I do the expansion, it is exactly what allows me to do the acceleration from 1 decade to 10 seconds. So one thing leads to the next. It's not, whoops, all of a sudden. It's, wow, And people didn't like, or some people don't like the fact that it's a whole decade. But now some people are finding this really fast. And maybe I want some of that, or I can use it.
Mm-hmm.
Your choice. But you have a choice. You have a choice everybody has, which is as they experience films progress, they can choose at the time to convert from divine to quantum. Or instead of waiting 1 million to 1 billion years, they can read the daily webpage and then build. Or we can accelerate the 10 years to 10 seconds.
Yes.
But then you have more development blocks.
Yeah.
Your choice.
Yay. Hey, before we...
Okay, does that help, James?
Yes, Peter, yeah.
Good, thank you.
Before we forget, Peter, it's Suzette's birthday tomorrow.
Is it?
Oh.
Ah.
Yay.
It's
Well,
Sunday.
happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. 15th or 17th?
I just saw Dennis and Hector. Yay.
I'm very happy.
Awesome.
So, is everybody ready? Let's go.
Happy
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Suzette. Happy birthday to you.
And Leslie.
Thank you. I'm very happy.
We need to work on our quantum harmonics, you guys.
It's like some of the voices are time traveling or something.
Yeah.
It sounds like that. Yep.
I think the real energy took over.
When I was leaving the Broadmoor today, I have a friend who's named Ted Johnson. He's 90. And he looked at me and he said, "You never get old. How do you do that?" But that's fun. That was fun having him say that.
You didn't sit him down for hours, did you, please?
No. He said his term is we all get rust, but you never get any rust. And so that's the shortcut or shorthand, rust.
Rust.
Everybody rusts, but you don't seem to rust. How do you do that?
But you're gonna turn 33 all of the sudden, right? And surprise everybody.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been very clear. I want to return to.
They'll be like, you remind us of somebody we used to know.
I mean, I was as high as 335, and I was I was really in shape. I mean, it was amazing. My waist was 34. I was strong as an ox. And now I have no idea what's going to happen. It's an MTT. But there are 11 days left. What's going to happen when? I don't know.
You're going to shock everybody and look 33 like you said.
Hey,
It's gonna be like when the Hulk turns quantum. Peter's like,
It's just
So much fun. Oh my
it'll
God.
be fun for all of us.
yeah,
Magenta.
magenta.
Magenta Hulk.
I like that.
Well, the theme is
The,
See, I
the
have
happy
no
Hulk.
energy wishes, but I don't want to die. And so I'm going to test for about 2,700 years using this body, and then I'll either up it with
As you do.
3 zeros, so instead of 20, a quarter of a million, it'd be quarter of a billion. I don't know, but I don't care.
Yes.
Because some people are already looking at me and said, "You're not wrestling." So the rest is an NDT, the rest is fun.
Yes.
The rest is happy.
Yes.
Happy, fun, and better.
Exactly. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
You can make up a song about that. You're not rusting, so I'm trusting.
It's just plain fun.
Yes. Fun.
Or you can do the quantum,
Yeah, I just noticed we've concluded our call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did anybody have anything on the tip of their tongue before we call it a day?
I can't think of a thing.
Okay.
I will say that it'll be MTT and only in love, non-loving experience.
Thank you, Hector.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, I'll see you on Monday.
See you.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, have a
See you
good one.
Monday.
Bye, guys. Thank you, Peter.
Have fun this
Bye.
weekend. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Happy
Bye, everyone.
weekend.
Happy
Oh, good.
birthday.
Bye.
Thank you.
Birthday, yes.
Happy birthday.
Hey,
Bye,
Suzanne.
Happy birthday.
I went there.
Suzanne, are you still there?
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.